The hottest ticket in New York isn't necessarily on Broadway. It's at the top restaurant per se, where chefs use science to create exciting and flavorful dishes. When it comes to playing with their food, the chefs at Per Se are among the most daring and innovative in their field. Experimenting with cooking methods from all over the world, Per Se has most recently focused on a method from France known as sous vide. But cooking novices, beware. This is one culinary undertaking you may want to leave to the professionals. Each sous vide creation requires industrial shrink wrapping in cryovac, which is then boiled at a specific time and temperature. Cooking times vary. A cut of meat can be cooked from 12 minutes to 20 hours, but the temperature of the water never rises above 136 degrees. Sous vide may be too complex for the home chef, but it's hard to argue with the results. Just one bite of dishes like these, and you know it's worth the effort. I can't wait to taste. So in case you're wondering, sous vide translates from French to under pressure, sous vide. And it's not only the name of the cooking technique, but also the name of Chef Thomas Keller's new cookbook. And Chef Thomas Keller is with us this morning. Great to see you
Good
again.
to see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
We should
back.
just say, this cookbook is really designed for people who do this for a living, right?
Exactly. It's for the professional, somebody who has the right equipment, the right environment to be able to cook this. We really want to make sure that safety, certainly is our first priority when it comes to food, whether it's cooking food sous vide or cooking food conventionally.
There you go.
About food safety.
I have to wonder about this. What is this machinery? I'm thinking science fiction theater, and we're trying to grow the organ of some monster or something in here. What is this?
Well, this is actually called an immersion circulator. So what it does is circulates the water, as you can see there, maintains a very, very specific temperature. So it's a thermostat. It's a circulator and a heater all at once.
So the water in there at every single corner is exactly the same temperature all the time.
Right. It's about precision. You think about conventional cooking, you think about time and temperature. Cooking is always about time and temperature.
Right.
This allows us to cook at very, very, very specific temperatures.
Right.
Without fluctuation for specific amounts of time.
Right. And some of the things, as I was looking in the book, some things you would put in here for 10 hours, 20 hours?
Sometimes days.
Days.
And if we're cooking short ribs, when you braise short ribs, typically you braise it in the oven for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
Well, at this, we're going to cook them at a low temperature for an extended period of time. When I talk about extended, we're talking about, it could be 72 hours.
Honey, the short ribs will be ready in 3 days. Okay, so what are we cooking here?
What I've done here is we have just a little mushroom stew here that we've cooked in sous vide. So we have all the different the different sauce in here, the different fat. We have some olive oil in here, and then of course the mushrooms. What I'm going to do, we cook them in sous vide, and I'm just going to reheat them and add a little bit of fresh garnish to that at the same time. Yeah. What we have here though is a piece of beef, and it's called the calotte or the decal in English. And you can see where we've grilled it ahead of time. So we've put
so it's seared, or you grill it ahead of time?
You can grill it ahead of time, or you can do it afterwards. In this case,
because you want to close it up a little bit.
Close it up, and we have it in here in some clarified beef fat. Again to keep some flavors in there. Right. And what we're going to do here, we can just slice and serve this at the same time we have our little bit of sauce going on here.
Now let me ask you a question. So if you go to Per Se, right down here on the corner on Columbus Circle, in terms of the menu, how much of the menu is devoted to this kind of cooking?
At any given night, it could be 15 to 20%.
Will it say so on the menu?
There'll be some specific items that'll be cooked sous vide, lobster cooked sous vide, for example, and we'll call that out. Although there may be some vegetables that are going to be sous vide that we may not call out as something that
And would you marinate them beforehand, or would you put the marinade in the bag? I mean, really, honestly, this is boil in the bag, right?
Exactly. I think people can relate to boil in a bag very, but we're all used to sous vide or cryovac. We've seen it for years. I mean, you go to the grocery store, and there's dozens of things that you're buying that are cryovac, cold cuts or sous vide.
All that.
Exactly. So it really maintains the freshness of it and extends the shelf life. Right. So what I have here, we're just gonna cut this bag open.
Yeah, we've got about a minute, so. I got so involved in the science, so I'm leaving the eating behind, but I really want to taste this in the worst way. Look at this. So we have our mushrooms. Are there a couple of little radishes?
There's some radishes there, just some celery leaf in there a little bit going on.
Man, it already looks beautiful. Look at this. And you say it looks rarer than it is?
It's deceiving because we never see a piece of meat that's cooked from edge to edge,
Right.
medium rare. Typically, conventionally, when we cook a piece of meat, we're cooking at a very, very high temperature, so it gets well done on the outside, then medium well, then medium, and then medium rare in the center. This one, on the other hand, is edge to edge, it's medium rare.
Okay.
So texturally, you'll feel the medium rare as opposed to rare. Attack it.
I have permission to attack? Oh my gosh. Oh, just take a look. And I've got to put a little radish on there, sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The flavors are so intense because you're not losing any of that.
Yeah, because it hasn't been burned
Right,
away
exactly.
in a pan.